Maista myös aito Amerikan keisari. Keisari 66. Käsin tehty aromikas pintahiiva-olut. American Style.
It's Jeff Walker from Carcass, and you're watching Chaos TV.
Hello everybody, Chaos TV is today here at Tuska Open Air in Helsinki, Finland, and we have a guest, Jeff, from the band Carcass here. So first of all, hello and welcome to Finland and welcome to Chaos TV.
Afternoon, good afternoon.
So you just finished your signing session, how was it?
It was good, it was cool. Lots of Russians, so you better watch it, they might take over Finland again.
So
actually saying it's probably going to be the Chinese, not the Russians. Sorry.
So last time when you were here in Finland, you played in a club and you played with Hell and Amon Amarth. So do you have any memories from the show back then?
Yes, I know I'm old, but I'm not senile yet. What specifically would you like to know? What would you like to know?
Was it a good gig for you guys?
Yeah. Finland's always a good place to play. Yeah, it was a cool show. We enjoyed it. I think it was the last show of the tour, so got fond memories for it for that reason. It was very cold, but it's cool.
So how was that tour generally? I guess the package was quite good.
It was good. Personally, I enjoyed it because we went out supporting another band, so the pressure's on them to pull the crowd and not us. So we did it because we've not toured Europe since the 90s, and we thought it'd be a strong bill, and I think it was. And yeah, it was cool.
So today you're gonna perform here at Tuska Open Air. So what kind of expectations you have towards the show tonight?
I don't really have any expectations. I'll just drink a third of a bottle of Jack Daniels and play, and hopefully it'll be a good show. But nothing's certain in this life, so we should do this interview after the gig, and then I can tell you whether it was good or bad, But
if you remember it, if you have drink the whole bottle,
I won't drink the whole bottle, just a third of it. I've got to lubricate the throat,
Oh, okay. So you're here pretty much supporting the new album Surgical Steel, which have gotten really good reviews everywhere. Mm-hmm. So have you guys generally been pleased with the feedback the album has received?
Yeah, I mean, I was quietly confident that we'd made a good album, and then you can only hope that other people appreciate that. So luckily, we've tapped into a certain psyche with people, and a lot of people enjoy it. So it's all good, It's been an overwhelmingly positive experience, doing the album. I mean, no one wants to make a record that people hate.
Yeah.
But then, we're not trying to be Avenged Sevenfold. We're not trying to have a mass populace that's attracted to our band. We're still very much a cult band, and we know we appeal to a certain demographic, and that's the way we like it. We don't want to appeal to every as an example, every kid in the schoolyard. We want to be the band for that special person. That's the unique kind of person.
In Finland there's pretty much a festival each weekend, and of course there's a lot of big festivals happening in Europe all the time, but what are your own personal favorite ones?
I don't know. I'm a bit burnt out and a bit bored by the festival thing, because I've been playing them since, I don't know, with this band and other bands since 2007. So to be honest, the most enjoyable shows we've done recently is small club gigs. It's quite grueling, I think it must appear very attractive for the audience, festivals and all that, but when you're in a band, it can be quite hectic. I mean, for example, we've got to leave at 4 a.m. to go to Belgium tomorrow to play Grass Pop, so it's quite a grueling weekend, Of course, it's a lot easier than working in a factory or down a coal mine, but
but still the traveling can be pretty exhausting.
Yeah, it's good when you just have one and you can travel and hang out for a few days, but this year we're not getting to hang out. It's pretty much work, and whereas in previous years we've played festivals and hung out and had a good time, with this we're just coming in, playing the show and getting the fuck out of there, so it's not as enjoyable. Like I said, recently playing the small club gigs has been a lot more fun. It's more intense, and you're closer to the audience.
So where do you actually have the best crowds in your own opinion in Europe?
In Europe?
Yeah.
Good question. I don't want to alienate any of our European audience. It's hard. When you can start comparing it to the Japanese or South Americans, then all the European crowds are quite lame. But where do we have the best reaction? I don't know. It's weird. I mean, I don't know what to say. we always get a good reaction, but we don't necessarily get crowds going crazy. I don't think we're really a festival band. I don't think our music translates that well into the big arena because our music's not simplistic enough, you know. There are certain bands that go down great at festivals because the music's quite. As my friend Patrick Jensen from The Haunted would describe some bands, it's like caveman music, and a festival and the crowd is a bit like a football match. You know, people like to cheer and chant along, and we don't really have those kind of parts, you know, where people can join in. I don't think. We played a gig in Holland last year, and we had 3 video screens running. And at one point, I just thought we turned into Rush because people just stood there watching and looking at the screens and not going crazy. So I'm not being bitter. I'm not begrudging the crowd. I'm just saying I don't think what we do translates into a big arena. I think we're more cut out for playing to our hardcore crowd and audience that buys our CDs that come to the club shows. Because obviously playing in an arena like this, there's going to be 90% of people who don't buy Carcass records. So it's hard to cross over to those people, you know?
So you have said in an interview that you didn't want to release like any singles from the latest album. Of course you released the music video and stuff like that, but was there like a specific reason for it?
I don't think we're a singles band. I mean, we make albums, you know? I mean, we don't record 3 singles and then scrape together a bunch of songs to fill out the album. We record an album as a body of work. I mean, for me to take any individual song out of the context of the whole album kind of dilutes the whole thing. So, I mean, we had to because the label insisted on, you know, releasing 1 or 2 tracks. But for me, you know, we don't make concept albums, but I think we make albums that people can sit down to and listen to from start to finish. I don't think we're a kind of band that you just pick 1 or 2 tracks. I hope we're not a band anyway, where people just like 1 or 2 tracks. I think for the most part, people who appreciate our albums like the whole thing from start to finish and not 1 or 2 songs, you know?
But that happens a lot, like nowadays in the digital music basically business, that people buy some certain songs that they actually like. So what do you think? What do you think about digital music in general?
Well, I think music's gone full circle. The industry, when when the single was first invented in the 50s, they were 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and then suddenly, you know, I don't know, say Sgt. Pepper's came out, and then record companies realised that they could sell albums and make a lot of money. People have now gone back to just picking 1 or 2 songs they like, because I think from your own experience, you know, you might hear 1 or 2 songs from an album, go out and buy it, and then the rest of the album's shit. And I think people are very suspicious nowadays of paying, you know, €10 for a whole album and then only liking 1 or 2 songs. So I think people are just picking and choosing what, you know, 1 or 2 songs they like. I think there's a new generation of people that are not, that music's not as important as it used to be to my generation, you know. But like I said, I think it's just gone full circle. People have got, you know, music, rock and roll started with a single, then it went to the album, it's gone back to the single again.
Okay, so you remember still the times of when you like actually bought your first CD or vinyl? What was it?
Look, the first CD I bought.
Yeah, or vinyl.
I can't remember the first CD I bought. The first vinyl I bought was the first record I bought was Electric Light Orchestra, Sweet Talking Woman. Okay. So that was 1978, I think. So, and it was a big deal because you'd save your pocket money up, and you know, it cost £1. And I think there's still a lot of people out there that still value music the way we used to. But I think like doing the signing now, there's a lot of young people. Surprisingly, a surprising lot of young people, you know, which is cool. But
and they actually had bought the album.
But I think there's also probably, you know, 40% that hadn't, and they just, you know, downloaded 1 or 2 songs. So it's up to people how they want to enjoy the music, isn't it? You know, I'm just a guy born in the end of the 60s, that, you know.
Yeah, but don't you feel like they miss something because they haven't had like that same kind of thing that you had actually had to spare money to buy it and have it like physically in your hands and go through the booklet and stuff like that?
Obviously, they're not missing anything, are they? They've got other things in their lives that they feel are more important. That might be buying clothes or buying drugs or buying alcohol. You can laugh, but you know, my generation when we were young didn't have a lot of money. Yeah. So and there wasn't a lot of entertainment, to be honest. Music was one of the forms of entertainment we had. I mean, in England there was only 3 TV channels and they finished at 11 o'clock at night. Now you've got 24-hour video, hundreds of channels, and there's too much going on in people's lives. They don't, you know, their attention is being dragged left, right and centre, you know. Music is not as important to people as it used to be.
So, what's in the scope next for you guys? What kind of future plans do you have? Are we going to expect a new album from you sometime in the 2015, or?
You should never expect anything. I mean, the problem is we're not a band that has plans. We just cross every bridge when we come to it, and we just roll along and do what we do. You know, we've got gigs now to the end of this year. I'm sure we've already had offers for next year. Hopefully there'll be another album, but we're not meticulously planning it. We've not, you know, sat down and started writing it. We don't want to be caught in that whole cycle of, you know, record an album tour. You know, we've never been like that. We've always took our every album we've ever made has always been at least 2 years in between them. So all I can say is we're too busy at the moment to sit down and contemplate doing anything. So
I guess many bands nowadays do that. They have that basically like 2-year cycle for it. So it's like tour, write, release, tour.
And that's because a lot of bands are trying to make as much money as they can before the bubble bursts, you know. Our main motivation isn't fiscal, you know. We're not chasing the dollar. We do this because we enjoy it, you know. Money's not an issue for us. And we're not too proud that tomorrow we could go back and get a real job and go back to the real world, you know. But at the moment things are good, and I foresee us being around for a few more years, you know. But I can't really tell you an album's going to come out next year, and I can't say it's going to come out the year after that. It'll come out when we feel it's ready, you know.
Okay. So, thank you very much for taking time off to do this interview with us, and good luck for tonight's show. Anything?
It's not luck, it's skill.
But anything you want to say as a closer to your Finnish fans? You can hold the mic, and that is to me.
I've been looking into the wrong one. Unprofessional. Kiitos if you bought the album, and hopefully we'll see you at some club shows next year.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.